Hey guys, welcome back to the Curveball by Giovanna Caponetto. This is Anna Wilson with me today. Dr. Anna is not only like the best dentist I've ever met in my entire life, but become one of my absolute best friends. So I'm so excited to have her on the podcast today and share a little bit more about her. But hello, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you so much for having me, Giovanna. I'm very honored to be here today. And I am just so blessed that I got to meet you and we got connected because you've become one of my best friends too. So I'm very grateful.
Same. Shout out Caste, right?
I know.
Right.
So grateful. So grateful.
So as now we're in the fourth podcast of my episode, you are actually my first non-athlete.
Oh, wow.
So I've said this in the intro of kind of all of my podcasts, but maybe not everyone's listening to every episode. Hopefully they will. But the premise of this podcast is to get a better understanding of the people in my world, right? Like, and I talk to this about everyone else that's been on the podcast, but everyone, there's only been a few. But, I know you on a very personal level and everyone else just knows the work that you've done, right? Like, I feel like you're really good at social media and people understand, like they see a little bit of you and your glamour. Look, guys, for this podcast, first of all, let me just take a little side note here. You've seen my outfits aren't crazy. Like I'm really chill. I would have come in sweatpants. We just recorded 2 episodes back to back today, but I would have come in sweatpants if it weren't for Anna today. She is like the fashion icon of the world. So I'm like trying to keep up with her. It literally is a nightmare for me. I'm like, oh my God, I can't sweat. I was in her closet the other day. She doesn't even own sweatpants. I'm like, not kidding. I'm like, this is crazy because 99% of my closet is sweatpants. But no. So what I'm like an icon. But I want to get my network of people. Like I live a very unique, I would say blessed life in many ways, right? And the people that I get to be surrounded by are like success stories. And
because of you. You know that?
No.
Give yourself credit. Yes.
Well,
you bring us together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I'm very fortunate that the people around me want to be around me then, but I am around some amazing humans in my life and they have pushed me to be better every day. And you're one of those, like you're constantly striving for more. And so everyone's seeing all of this positive success that you're doing. And I think you and I have talked about this over wine a million times. Like I hype you up and I don't hype you up to talk, I always say I don't talk shit, I talk facts. So it's like you are an absolute like powerhouse. So I know all of the back end stuff about what goes on to make Seville Dental what it is. And I know I mentioned that she is one of the absolute best cosmetic dentists and just dentist in general ever. But you're young. You're a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Aren't even from the United States. Like English is your second language and you're a business owner. Like you own your practices. So like you amaze me and you push me and you inspire me more than you realize. And you inspire a lot of people around you. So with all that being said, I know a lot about you that so many people don't know, that you're very strong to hold in. But I feel like there's a layer of you that I think the world deserves to know. Because it's what made you you. So like what I'm saying is the premise of this podcast. Curveball, new logo, shout out Caston. She's so good. But the premise of this podcast is to dig a little deeper, and like everyone gets hit with curveballs in life, right? But it's how you move around with it. You can bring it down and keep you down, or you can be better than you ever dreamed you could be. So you obviously took, in my eyes, the better than you could dream of, path. So talk me through, like, I know the reason why you chose dentistry, but tell us a little bit about your story behind that.
Yes, well, thank you for all the very nice things you just said. And I agree. I think the side of me that most people see on social media, that's just a little version, a 5% of who I am.
Right.
And if you know me personally, you know I carry a big story, which, you know, for unexpected situations happen, but we either can sit down in a corner and cry about it,
Right.
or we can turn around and determine that those events made you stronger, and it's making a better version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the philosophy I've tried to live. My mother was a dentist in Mexico, so she was my motivation. Growing up is the last thing I wanted to do on earth, but I have a lot of faith. So when I moved to the US when I was 17, did not speak any English. That was not the career I was pursuing during my freshman year of college. And one day something clicked, and I was like, well, I want to be a dentist. Thankfully, my mom was able to walk that journey with me through my first couple months of dental school, as she passed away very unexpectedly, exactly a year and 1 week after my father was murdered in Mexico. And
that literally gave me the goosebumps. Like that, not to cut you off, but oh my God, literal goosebumps. That in itself is like a hard moment to even keep going, right? Like
yes,
there have been so many people that just stop their process.
yes,
So props to you. But so sorry. Okay. So a year and a month, you said?
yes, a year and a month. And I will say, when you say stop the process, it crossed my head. It crossed my mind.
As it
And, you know, seeing your mother be so heartbroken, and, you know, my father was her soulmate, her love for her life. And I do believe that she passed away from a broken heart, and they were soulmates. And to allow yourself to let go of your best friend, of, you know, I talked to my mother three times a day, and
I am with mine.
I would always tell her she was the love of my life, you know. And I'm grateful that now I get to experience being a mother. But that was a very hard moment in my life. And when my mother passed away, I went to Mexico, and have two little siblings I had, and I'll go into more detail. My brother and my sister, they were 14 and 15. So left dental school.
And you were how old when you're
23?
Yeah.
23. So I became a parent to teenagers at the age of 23.
Yeah.
Went to Mexico and took care of my parents, you know, closing their chapters in Mexico. Loaded my mom's dog, grabbed her car, filled the car with as many suitcases as we could for the kids, and I told the kids, and like, we're moving back to the US. You guys are coming with me. Mm-hmm. If we are sent back, we'll turn around and we'll just build a life in Mexico. I was born in Texas and raised in Mexico, so I'm a U.S. citizen by birth. My siblings were not, and with their visas, you know, they came here, and we went through 5 checkpoints, and I explained to them the situation, brought my parents' death certificates, and I told them my intentions of, as soon as we arrived to the U.S., we were going to initiate the adoption process, as being, you know, their oldest sister. Very blessed every step of the way. The doors just kept opening, and I was, you know, willing to just turn around and go back to Mexico if I had to, because I was not going to separate my family under any circumstance. So yes, I went back to dental school, and I look back now when, you know, I thought I didn't want to be a dentist, and then something just hit, and all of a sudden I wanted to become a dentist. And I see why that moment happened.
Yeah, you knew.
It's like God sent me a message. Ugh. Because that was going to be my coping mechanism to deal through my mother's loss and raising my siblings. So what I do now, and the reason I love doing and changing people's lives, and that's why I got involved in cosmetic dentistry, is because I see my mother through the lives that I'm changing. And
it's so beautiful.
If I could do this for free every day, I would genuinely do it. I love it. And coming back to school, instructors, they helped me a lot. But a lot of people doubted me. And as I would do it for somebody else too, after going through so much trauma, people ask me take a year, take a break off, and I couldn't do it. It's like, what am I gonna do? Sit in a corner, cry, feel sorry for myself, and it's gonna be harder to come back. No, I gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I always look back and I wanted to set a good example for my siblings. So kept going. It was not easy, but I did it. I had a lot of support, and um, after I graduated, I knew I wanted to own my own business. My mother had her own dental office, so I had a pretty good example. I did not have any management or business owner experience, so I was walking into the unknown.
Right.
All I knew is that I wanted to do it, and what I knew so well, and to this day, I told myself, one thing I know how to do right, and I will know I will do it. I don't care how hard I have to work for it, and I don't care how many hours I have to put on it. I will do it. So that's always my backup plan if something doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if as long as I work hard, it's gonna work out. And very blessed. It has that's been the way my businesses have grown, and I'm willing to put in the work. And later in life, after my parents being deceased for a few years, my brother passes away very unexpectedly here in the U.S. in a road accident. It's still to be determined the details of how the situation happened. So lost my brother. So now, I came from having a full family, mom, dad, siblings, Christmases, everything. And at some point, I feel like everything was taken away from me. And I think as much as God has taken away from me, He has also given it back. So I will say I had nights that I asked God, I'm like, why? Why do you keep doing this? Why? Mm-hmm. And thankfully, God gave me a beautiful daughter that showed me a new purpose in life. And because of her, I will never, ever give up. And my sister too, because she's my oldest daughter.
Yeah, and she's amazing.
And I believe this life, it's a passage through what's greater after here. And I believe my parents and my brother are living that life now. They're my biggest guardian angels, and they're my biggest blessing. So Isabella knows all about them. Isabella is my daughter. And I think life is beautiful, and we gotta make it beautiful. And sometimes it is so easy to see a circumstance and feel sorry for yourself. I always look back and I know somebody else is going through a harder situation than I am. And for this reason, I want to empower women, females, young people to pursue their dream and don't get caught in the unexpected, issues or problems life throws at you. Turn them around and make the best out of it, because we live in the country of the opportunities. Mm-hmm. Anybody that wants to be something in the United States, they can be it. I've seen it differently in other countries. Mm-hmm. And if you want to do it here, there is no excuses. No excuses. So gotta keep persevering every day.
I mean, I know that story, and still hearing that story is like so insanely emotional and inspiring, and just like a wow factor. Like the way you've navigated, and maybe had to go off the path a few times, but the way you've navigated life, like, and you continue to succeed and push. And I feel like, I know being around you, but like your team being around you in the office, like you're pushing people to be the best that they can be. And like, you are first of all, you're the epitome of what my podcast is about, right? Like, I mean, you have hit, like, there have been so many curveballs thrown at you in life, and you just keep powering through. And there's more that we're not going to talk about, but like that have been constant curveballs. And it's just insane, like, and admirable what you've built. And I have only known you a short time. Feels like we've known each other our whole lives, actually. But I mean, we've known each other about a year now. It's a year.
Wow. I feel like I've known you forever.
Our friend-iversary.
That's right.
I feel like it's been a year. We had one of our, so I guess a little segue. One of my athletes and her clients, actually, we were at dinner one night and he's like, you really need to meet Dr. Anna. Like, she is super about women in business and empowering other women and all these things. And then I like look at your Instagram. I was like, Jesus Christ, and she's beautiful. Like, I'm like, can I date her? You know? And like, I think I DM'd you and we met up, but like, for reference, like, she had just done Castay's teeth, which are like, well, also she just did mine. And I mean, like, I saw him and I was like, oh my God, which he's beautiful anyway. So, you know, you just like enhanced his beauty. So, I mean, your work is amazing. And I know of stories of people that you've worked on and you've like donated your time. And like you said, you would do it for free every day if you could. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we can't. Otherwise, life just, it can't live. But I see the passion you have, and I've honestly witnessed it firsthand. I think when I met you, I had to have a dental like emergency basically taken care of, and we had just met and you're like, let's take care of you, you know. And I mean, you're just so generous as a person. And also, like, I know it's who you are, but we talk about culturally all the time, right? Like, I'm Italian, you're Mexican. So it's like so you have that like caretaking, like, overall.
I'm very motherish.
Yes.
Very motherish. I mother my patients.
very motherish. Like, Lo calls me momager. Justin told me I'm like everyone's mom the other day. I'm like, okay, calm down. I'm like 6 months older than you guys.
But you know, at the same time, we mother, but we love to be mothered.
Yes.
So like, when 100%. You do that to me, I love it.
I know. I know. I sit you down and
so much that she like introduced me to her mom so she could mother me too.
Yeah, I was like,
and I love it.
I like put her and my mom in a group text. I was like, Mom, start momming. Like, no, but honestly, like, your story is beautiful. It is amazing. It's heavy, right? And we talk about how heavy that is for you and navigating that constantly. But the other side of you and why I'm so drawn to you as not even just a client, but like a genuine lifelong friend is your optimism and your like eagerness to grow. And there's so much of what hopefully we'll do another episode here in a few months and we can talk more about more exciting things coming up in business. And then after this, we can have a drink and I can tell you what I have coming down the pipeline for you. But that is what's so inspiring is you're such a light to everyone.
Oh, thank you.
So, I mean, you started Seville. What year did it become yours?
2018.
2018. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you're what, almost 7 years in?
Six and a half. Yes.
Yeah. So we had one office and that's the one, and we're in Kansas City area, guys. We had one office and that was in the Legends area out by Sporting Park where we just had a couple of guests from. Yeah. Yep. So right by Sporting, and then opened the Plaza office 2 years ago now.
Yes.
Yeah. And then now we have a third one.
In downtown. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Like, you have in 6.5 years, 3 offices and successful offices at that.
Yes. Honestly, if you would have told me that 8 years ago, I would have never believed you. But like you said, is persevering, staying positive. Being positive, guys, will take you to so many places. And always, I know it's hard and I have my days, I have my negative days, but in the morning, we got to shift them. Yeah. You have to shift that around. And you have to surround yourself with people that also pushes you. And to me, that's Giovanna, you know. And
thank you.
And she's one of my biggest cheerleaders, and I can count them with the palm of my hand. And you're one of them.
Thank you. But I appreciate you, but right back at you. But I see that, right? Like, I don't just hype up everyone, but I see that, and I'm a cheerleader for people that I see that happening for. But it's like almost you and I have talked numerous times, and it's like we envision things for ourselves, right? And you've seen it in your head. So you're like, well, it's got to be there.
Uh-huh.
So like, how do we get there?
Yes.
Because I know there's more things you and I are talking about.
Oh, yes.
Basically in a mental vision board, right? So we're like, there are goals, and what are the goals? Like, I mean, honest to God, in less than 7 years, what you've built is crazy. But like, you're not even close to scratching, I believe, the surface of what you have potential to do. Like, like I said, you are so young in the industry that you're in. And like, I almost feel like there's like, you do traditional dentistry, but I feel like there's almost a phenomenon of cosmetic dentistry right now, right? Like,
yes.
you looked at me and I thought my smile was fine. I knew I wanted to change something. Now I look back and I'm like, I can't even look at her. But I knew there were things I wanted to change. But you looked at me and you were like, let's do this, 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 this. And I was like, okay. You know, so you just have like an artistic eye for smiles. So it's with and maybe I'm just more open-eyed to it now, but like I feel like there's a more phenomenon, as I'm saying, of cosmetic dentistry. Like, so what do you see?
So let me share this little, and I'm just like thinking about it. I want to start crying a little bit. So going back to my mother, because she was my biggest trauma in my life. And thinking that, one day I would have to let her go was like impossible. I thought I would have died.
Right.
Having to let go of your mom.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
And, funeral process in Mexico is very different. So like the next day after she passed away, like we literally had to do her funeral. And then the third day I'm burying my mom, which is unimaginable. And I remember them, you see the whole process and letting her go down and, into the ground, and me getting on my knees. And one of my mom's best friends, her husband is a professional opera singer, and he starts singing Ave Maria.
Oh.
And it was just such a a moment that impacted my life. And I thought to myself, what is the one thing of my mom's legacy that I want her to leave me? Not the material, because that doesn't matter. But what I prayed, I got in my knees, and as she was going down the ground, and I said, Mom, the only thing that I want you to leave me, the only thing, are your hands and your skills and your love for dentistry. That is the only thing I want to carry on for the rest of my life, and the rest will come. And I believe she did. She did. And I feel her with me. And I do believe that God has given me those skills and the mind and the artistry that I continue to learn, guys, because I'm not perfect. I continue to grow. But
you're really good at learning. Like, you prioritize that. And 100%. I think that's admirable as well.
And it's my life. I would never give dentistry. And that is the one thing that nobody could ever take that away from me. It's my passion for my profession.
And like you said, like continuing your mom's legacy.
Yes.
Like
when she passed away, the amount of patients and people she helped and changed their lives, it was unbelievable. And I thought to myself, one day, when I died, I want to have a funeral like hers. And, I think to myself every day, which I touch on wood, and I have a little girl that is 4 and I have many years to go. But I think to myself, if I die tomorrow, like, did I do my part in this world? And I ask myself that question every day, because as unexpected situations have happened, I know things can happen, and it's crazy, but I think that to myself every day.
Yeah, it sounds crazy to maybe someone that hasn't lived.
Right.
Yeah, but like you've been through a lot. So, and as you know, I have a family illness going on. So like yes. I have a different perspective in life as well. But I mean, I think that's like, that's so like that in itself is very powerful. It's like one of the most, I don't want to say torturous, but like, I mean, it's definitely horrible, right? But it's also one of the most beautiful things, because the way you see life and the way you want to attack it is way different, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And like when you win, you celebrate those wins wholeheartedly.
Yes.
And yeah, so I mean,
Yes.
Seville in itself is becoming like a powerhouse brand. And I feel like, yes, your mother, is helping you every day. And you also need to credit yourself because you are building everything. And as we've talked about, like you're doing cosmetic smiles, you're doing these amazing smiles. People are flying in to now see you, which is crazy.
Yes.
Like, how does that feel? Like, what has been like the last, because I feel like since I've known you, I've even seen crazy growth. Like, so what is it feeling like in the last year or so?
It's amazing. I love the direction that we're heading, and I love where this is going. And I think when we do it with passion and with love, think people perceive that, and you continue to experience growth. Another thing that I have had to learn, it's self-love and self-appreciation.
Yes.
Because we can be sometimes so hard on ourselves.
Very.
So strict.
Especially as women.
Yeah. Because guys, I have not lived a perfect life. I've made a lot of mistakes as well, but you can also embrace them. And one thing that I started practicing is being proud of my own successes and my accomplishments. So celebrate them. And I'm here to continue to motivate, encourage women and young women to move forward, to pursue their dreams and be in control of their own lives. Because when you pick a partner, you're with that partner because you complement each other, not because you need each other, because you complement one another. And that is so important.
Yeah.
As you move forward.
100%. Yeah. I mean, and then like I didn't ever, when I met you, I knew we had the 2 offices, but I did not think a third one was opening. So I'm like, what is next for Dr. Ana?
There's a lot of visions in my vision board. I every year before the end of the year, I write a list of things I want to accomplish that year, and I always know like I want to do all of those and maybe just a little bit more. So a lot is coming, and this is this is just the beginning.
100%.
And I am eager, and it's so satisfying because somebody shared this quote to me, but I always want to know I'm living to my full potential, always. And this motivates me, it encourages me, and life is so short, guys. I know you hear that every day,
right?
But after seeing such young individuals live in such an early life, I really understand that. So live to your full potential every single day and accomplish the most you can in this earth. Build a legacy for you, for your family, and for the next generation behind you. Lead the way.
Absolutely. And I think you're doing that. And I think I bet Issa becomes a dentist. Oh. I have a strong feeling Issa's going to become a dentist. Dentist or a ballerina or like, I don't know, that girl's everywhere. She's kind of like many talents right now.
Oh, if I could have the confidence she has
now. If
I
had the confidence Issa had, I would.
Like 10 years ago, I would be in a different place.
Yeah, maybe she's teaching us actually.
Yes, that girl, it's, I can only imagine what the world has for her, but I want her to do it in a very humble way always. So yes, I mean she's the next my sister, and then her, because my sister is also applying to dental school. So I'm very excited for what life has to bring.
I also love seeing your sister in the office because like she walks in and you're like, hey, grab this, and I'm like, oh, she's going to work. She didn't even know she was going to work today, but she went to work. Yes. No, but oh God, Issa cracks me up. She is just a little doll. It's so much personality.
Yes.
Oh, but where'd she get that?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know, from her aunt.
You seem so calm, like not calm, but like on the podcast, and you got that little Latina flair,
Yeah, there's a different side of me too. That's for the next episode.
I love it, and I love you so much. But I do. This is not a Kansas City-based themed podcast, but I feel like I've talked. Obviously, being from Kansas City, I've talked a lot about Kansas City. But what has it meant to you being here in the city, and like being received here?
Yes. Well, first of all, guys, Kansas City is a hidden gem in
Yes.
the middle of the country.
Yes.
I love it. I think Kansas City is a little gold mine where anything you want to start can become something really great very quickly, and people support each other. People are so nice. So I love it. And when I came here, I told my mom, I think this is it. I'm staying here. And yes, I have, I'm rooted here. Maybe one day I'll retire in Mexico. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, retiring.
I can't see you stopping work.
I love it here. Love it so much.
It is, and it looks, Kansas City looks good on you, to be honest.
Oh.
But I mean, like we've said, like she has clients flying into her now, and I like, to me, that is a huge compliment, right? Like we have, and that's what I don't actually love when people say they hate social media, because I'm like, why? Yes. Like it is an outlet for greatness, right?
Absolutely.
Like, of course it's a highlight reel and blah 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 blah. But like it is a literal outlet for greatness, and to me it's an inspiration more than it is anything. And like for you, social media is where a lot of your, I mean, word of mouth, but like people see your work, because I mean, God, you've done how many like professional athletes now come to you, which is great. We have a few more to schedule. Yes. I gotta get on that. Yeah. I gotta get on that. But like, I mean, athletes are coming to you, and that just spreads. Like, I mean, the team, I don't work with the whole teams, and they're just like coming to you, right? And no, that's Cass State really helps with the sporting thing. But like, I mean, people like, I know, well, firsthand, I know one of my friends flew in because of what you did to my teeth. She was like, well, I need to come, and I have another friend coming in, and it's just like these people are seeing your work, and you could have I mean, there's literal cosmetic dentists everywhere. They're paying that extra flight in, like, to get taken care of you. Like, that to me is crazy.
I'm beyond honored, but I will say I do not cheapen my work by any means. If I know something's better, I will always stick to that. And I give it all my heart. I am so passionate, and you know that. Yes. I'm a perfectionist.
Yes, you are.
And I really mean that.
I do. I know firsthand. I've been in the chair.
And if you're my friend, my family, you probably have had either whitening, Invisalign, or veneers. Like you just have. But
I've had all.
I love it. I love it with the every piece of my body.
Yeah.
I eat, drink, sleep, dentistry. And if you're in my life, you have to put up with it.
I know. She's sitting across from you, and she's like, what can we do?
And when you were saying about social media, I think social media is like one of the greatest things that's ever been invented. All my circle of, study clubs and, other dentists across the country and the world, I've developed such close relationships and friendships with other dentists all over the country, where we meet in Arizona. This is where this group is, and we exchange ideas. We give each other tips for our skills or businesses. But there's no way I would have connected with this dentist if it wasn't for social media. And then it opens so many doors, and if you're not using it, you're missing on it.
Yes, and I think this is kind of going off topic, but it is a topic I've recently been thinking a lot about, because I keep seeing people post really negative things about social media, and I'm like, of course you can take it very negatively, and it can be a toxic environment. It really can. I'm not knocking that at all, because I think kids and younger people are seeing things that aren't attainable, right? And maybe they're getting into credit card debt just to keep up, right? But to me, and my business, and I see it for your business, it is literally a platform for growth.
Yes.
100%. I mean, it's like a place to be a sponge. You're learning, like you're getting motivated.
Yes.
Like I'll never be the kind to be jealous of someone's success.
Yes.
Ever.
No,
I see the success, and it inspires me. Yes. I love it. I'm like, oh, you got a new G-Wagon? Well, then what do I got to do? Like if she can do it, then what am I waiting for?
Absolutely.
Like, so it's just like, I see it as just like I will never take other people's successes like for a jealous like I don't understand that aspect of anything. Like to me, it lights the fire.
100%. You know, we going back to is your perception about life.
Yes.
And you can find a negative something about everyone and anything around you. There, oh my gosh, you can drown on that.
Yes.
Or you can see the positive in every single thing.
And don't get us wrong. We have our moments of negativity. Like, I mean, we do.
Oh, but we flip them like this.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't linger on it. But I also think that maybe comes, and my sister and I talked about this, that maybe comes from one, yes, our life experiences with family, right? And tragedy and all the things that we've dealt with. But entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I think that comes with the maturity of entrepreneurship as well. True. Is like not being able to linger on those negative things that may have happened because you don't have time for it. Mm-hmm. And like I'm learning right now because I have my 2 first ever employees. Before it was me. Like if you can't make payroll, you can't make payroll because it's for yourself, right? You figure it out.
Yes. True.
But now when you're paying other people, it's like shit.
And
so they depend. Their life depends on you.
Families. Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of my biggest, weights on my head is like,
and that's
there's families under me a lot. If I go down, so I don't have time for that.
Down isn't an option. No. It's how do we make them more money, right? So it's like, how do we continue to grow to give back to them? So it's like, you absolutely are a powerhouse, and I am struggling with 2 damn employees where I'm like, oh my God.
No, Giovanna, you're
and
not.
You've got like a whole, I mean, how many employees do you have?
13th.
And then, I mean, we're continuing to grow. So It's like, that's wild. That is, you are taking care of 13, well, more than that, whatever their families' lives are. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, that is wild. And you are amazing.
Thank you, Giovanna.
Genuinely amazing. And I was talking to everyone before you walked in about like how excited I was to interview you because, as I said, I know you so well, but other people don't. And I mean, there's still so much of her you guys don't know. She's, like the little tequila all the time. Like, I got my tequila girly. But I mean, you as a professional is something that everyone should take note of somewhere, right? And all of us have had our help to get to where we're at. And I know someone that's helped you that, we don't want to give like, you still like credit everyone that I'm like, and you're like, no, credit goes, so it's like, you're so real with it all. So like that's amazing. Literally, you. I know some things coming up, but for you, and I'm so excited to see more of it for you. But I don't know. You are just like a unicorn.
Wow. Thank you, Giovanna. And, again, it also matters who you surround yourself with. And again, going back to if I feel down, Giovanna is one of my phone calls are making. So
thank you so much for telling part of your story.
Thank you.
I mean, I just feel like there's still so much to cover. Like, we could literally be in here for 2 hours. I'm like, we didn't even talk about Dr. Rita. Like, we didn't talk about, my God.
Yes.
There's so much. We could just keep going and going and going. And, oh, my God.
Well,
we're going to have like a part 2, a part 3, a part 4.
Yes.
Have Issa on for her own episode.
Oh, she can have
Imagine.
Her own. She can have her own.
I just threw away my recycling, my cat box. Remember, she got an Amazon box, and she needed to make a cat box. I don't even know what it was for Chloe. Remember? I finally threw it out. I was like, I'm sorry, Issa. It's becoming an eyesore.
Yeah, she's her own little person for sure.
She is. But thank you so much again. And I love you, and I appreciate you, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much
for
having me, and couldn't be more honored and thankful to life for putting you in my path.
Amen. We're going to keep growing together, girl.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
yes,
I love you. I love you.
I love
you. Thank